Hello traders, this is Peter from FTMO and today I will introduce you to one of our FTMO traders, Eric from Singapore. Welcome Eric.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hello Eric. Just for our traders, FTMO is a prop trading firm which develop a unique two-step evaluation process which is specifically tailored to discover new trading talents. And once you finish this two-step evaluation process, we will provide you a placement or we will offer you a placement in our proprietary trading company where you can remotely manage your own FTMO account as Eric here. And Eric successfully passed the FTMO challenge, and that is why we have him here. So, Eric, please introduce yourself briefly.
Hi, everyone. My name's Eric. I'm from Singapore. So, for myself, I got interested in stocks trading back in the days of probably more than 10 years ago. And I started Forex trading about 10 years back. Uh, and eventually, this became my passion.
Okay, so like 10 years ago, you started trading.
Yeah, for Forex. So, I started off with stocks. But that's about 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Then I switched to Forex back in 2008. Yeah.
And what is your background? What did you study before, trading stocks and trading the Forex now?
I actually graduated as a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. So I was working as an IT professional. Um, and I did that for almost 20 odd years. But I think where I picked up stock trading was when I joined Credit Suisse. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I get interested in financial instruments.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I started off my studies and my learning about stocks trading. That
Okay.
eventually I got into Forex trading. So that's how I began my journey as a trader.
And as an IT guy, did you use the knowledge, for example, to setting up your own expert advisor or something like that?
No, okay, I'm not that kind of technical IT guy. So I'm more of a system and process person.
Okay.
So I think that actually helped me in a way, more of looking at trading as a process. So to me, trading is not just about signal.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually how I manage myself as a trader.
Uh-huh.
The way I look at the market, the way I execute my trades, how I measure myself. So
Yeah.
these are the very typical kind of project management kind of
Yeah.
skill sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will look into further. So, and are you right now a full trader or part-time trader?
Uh, I used to be doing it part time. It was only this year I've decided to become full time. So it took me a few months to plan it out. So I started officially somewhere in August, September.
Uh-huh.
That I'm doing full time right now.
Right now, and why did you decide to do it full time?
Actually, that has always been my plan.
Okay.
Uh, it wasn't that early in a sense. I wanted to do it like maybe in 2 years time or 3 years time when my kids are a little bit older. But due to this COVID situation, I think there was an opportunity, and there is also push factor from my existing company. So I thought this might be a good time to actually restart my plans. So that's why I came out to become full time. And coincidentally, uh, finding FTMO was actually one of the what you call that, the trigger point.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, yeah, because before that I was using my own fund, so my funding is always undercapitalized in a
Uh-huh.
sense. If I need to kind of cover my current income, then I really have to trade very big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with FTMO, I think it makes things a lot easier. Then I don't have to touch my own funds. I can use FTMO as a very good platform.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
put out what I need to.
you have started with us since October 6th, I think. And like after like 2 months, you successfully passed the FTMO challenge and the verification. And right after that, you bought for another FTMO challenge. And right now, you're like just some few days before you will get another 100K account. So my question is, how did you prepare yourself or how did you prepare your trading strategy to trade this big capital?
I've been doing that for quite some time. I mean, I've been preparing myself to be able to trade into the using 100,000 account. Yeah, that has been my plan. So, but it has been ongoing for at least for the last 3 4 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a sudden switch. So yeah, it has been some time.
And
As so about is it am I using my own money or use other people's money?
of course. And
Yeah.
what is the difference between, when you started in 2010, like you said, 10 years ago, and now? Like, what were your missing points?
Well, I guess the biggest missing piece is the maturity in terms of managing losses,
Uh-huh.
managing mental lapses. So these are the key points that were missing back then. So technically, as a trader, the in and outs, the ups and downs. I mean, these are the things that are kind of easy to kind of learn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the technicality is always easy. But how to manage from a process standpoint when you are not doing well as when as a trader. So how do I manage myself was actually one of the key challenges back then. So that took quite some time for me to kind of overcome, and eventually able to kind of have a very nice process of from end to end, knowing what I should do and what I should not do, and how do I manage what I don't do well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And when you said that you traded your own funds before, what was the difference between, trading funds now, our, and trading yours? Like, it was like more stressful to trading yours, and
Mm.
or what was the difference for you?
Okay. I guess the difference is it's when you're trading your own fund, and if I have no other income, then trading becomes the primary income. So any losses, the pain will be a lot more as compared to knowing that if I use other people's fund, I can use my own fund to kind of as my daily operating expenses. Yeah. So I don't have to worry about it right now.
Okay. What was the difference trading on demo account and then with your invested capital?
Um, I think from a technical standpoint, that there isn't a difference. The trading style is still the same.
Uh-huh.
Trading on demo, when I started off with the trial, the primary reason was to try out the platform itself. Yeah, so the real challenge comes in when I started off the first challenge. There was some fumbling at the beginning, but eventually I managed to overcome it and managed to meet the objectives by the end of the month. Yeah.
Right. And what about the objectives? Like, did you find them easy for you? Because
Uh,
you have quickly passed them in the free trial, and then you have quickly passed them in the FTMO challenge.
well, I guess the objective are not difficult in a sense, but the challenging portion is always the time limit. The 30 days was actually a big challenge
Okay.
because how we perform as a trader, it depends on the market. If the market don't move or what you're seeing is different from what the market is doing, then
Mhm.
that will take time to achieve the target profit objective.
So the 30 days limitation is more challenging than, for example, the profit target.
Yep.
What is the best aspect of FTMO for you?
Well, I guess I like the platform very well. Um, I'm using C Trader, so I do like the spreads that's being given. It's very low,
Mhm.
and the trade execution is actually is very fast. So I have no problem in doing. I mean, putting in my trades and making sure that all my orders are being executed well. So that is the thing I like about the FTMO platform.
Great.
As if I look at FTMO as a proprietary firm, of
Mhm.
course, having the funds um, with the amount is actually very good for traders
Mhm.
because that will actually help us overcome a lot of kind of some of the challenges that most traders face at the beginning.
Mhm. And where did you learn trade?
When or where?
Where? Well, you can answer on both question, like, but my question was where.
Where? Okay. Uh, I I did attend some courses to start off to understand what is forex trading. But unfortunately, what I found out from most of the courses out there, they are pretty kind of very beginner stage. So a lot of things that are being taught is without context. So although they are not wrong, but without the context, it's actually very hard to understand how to apply it
Mhm.
as a when you do live trading.
Mhm. Okay. What type of indicators and strategies you have tried until you find the right one that suits you most?
Like I mentioned, when I started off with the course, we were taught with indicators like moving averages, MACD, RSI. So those were the during the initial first year, I was doing that. But when I realized that I'm actually not doing well at all, I just threw all the indicators away. So I trade the chart naked. Yeah. So it's all based on price action.
So the indicators doesn't work for you.
Actually, it doesn't make a difference. So having too many indicators is actually quite what do you call that? It's very confusing on the chart itself. There are so many lines. Yeah. So well, I guess I spend a lot of time on the charts on screen. So without the indicators, I will be able to, based on the candles, I'll be able to know what's happening in the market, and my analysis and my kind of assessment of the market is just based on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you just sum it up your trading strategy as a whole? How do you decide to execute an order and how do you decide to close it?
Well, okay. Generally, I'm a day trader. So
Okay.
what I would do is I will do analysis of the chart. So that I will use multiple time frames to look at where the market is it's going
Mm-hmm.
and the current market condition. So if it's a trending market, of course, then I have to employ the trending market strategies.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a consolidation, then there's the strategies for that as well. So I will decide based on the market condition and what kind of strategy to employ.
Mm-hmm.
And when for execution wise, basically I'll just look at what's happening in the H4 chart. I'll base that and find the levels that are appropriate for entries. Then I'll try it out.
So you are more like trading mechanically, right?
Yeah, from the execution point of view, it's mechanical,
Uh-huh.
especially for exits. Yeah.
And what about the stop losses or
Um,
or break evens, or do you use them or trading stops?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Stop losses is very important. So I'll always determine the stop loss before I go into a trade. So if the stop loss didn't hold, then the whole setup probably will be invalidated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So making your stop loss is a must. And of course, I'll make good use of the stop losses when the market is moving as well, because the moving of stops also help in terms of what kind of returns you will get from the market.
And how tight are there?
Uh, it depends. So the initial position may be in the range of 30 to 40 pips,
Mm-hmm.
but as the market move, I may tighten the stop. So it depends.
Do you review your mistakes and errors in your trading
Every day, I will
every day?
review every single trade. Yeah, I'll review every single trade, and at the end of the day, I'll review the entirety as well. Then I also do a weekly review.
And what information you note from them?
Well, primarily, I look at my own performance statistically. So I look at the average dollar win
Mm-hmm.
and the average dollar loss. Because from the way I design how I trade is to make sure that I'm able to increase the average dollar win at the same time to decrease the average dollar loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's take a look to our metrics right now and see
sure.
how do you do. All right, right now we are in your metrics. We can see that you started your FTMO challenge since 6 October 2020, and
Mm-hmm.
your profit split is going to be paid, withdrawn on 6 January 21. And your last profit split that was withdrawn was like around 11. My question is, when I'm looking at your balance, is that you has a lot of ups and downs.
I do.
It looks like you really had a rough ride on many winners. You have many winners and losers, but no risks, no drifts, right? So even though you are in the profit most of the time, how do you physically manage your losing trades?
Well, I guess when I have those losses, one of the very key thing is to know why the losses are coming through.
Uh-huh.
So when I review through this period of time, I actually have a 3 week of negative zone, if I remember correctly. So those were the difficult times, because I was reading the market wrongly, I was timing the market wrongly. I mean, these are things that will happen from time to time. So it's all about knowing when you can get back into the groove where you are able to see the direction correctly,
Uh-huh.
when the market move in the direction that you want, and with the type of range that is moving. So when it comes, then that's where the positive trades will come in.
Okay. And for this strategy, do you have some daily, weekly, or monthly goals?
Um, I think right now, I'm looking at 10% on a monthly basis, but I'm not able to attain those at the moment. But that will be eventually what I'm targeting at. So I'm still looking at a 10% per month as my goal.
Okay. And do you monitor your trading objectives beside the metric apps?
Yes, I will download the data from Trader. That's
Okay.
where I will analyze metrics as well. So I'll look at some of the. I mean, from time to time, there are always a lot of nonsense trade. That's why I call them.
Uh-huh.
So I'll try to look at those and see how I can fine tune my performance.
Okay, and if I take a look at your objectives here,
Mhm.
we can see that your win rate is below 50%, like 40, and your RR is like 1.8. How do you manage those numbers?
Uh, Basically, I will use position sizing as my key mechanism
Uh-huh.
because in order to win more than you lose, what I do make sure is when I lose lesser than what I planned. And when the trade is working out, that's where I will add into the sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So I will scale up the position size itself. That's where the higher wins will come when is a good trade.
Yeah, scaling
So
it, reducing
yeah.
your risk. Let's take out what do you trade? And as I can see here, you are mostly trading the cable. Why do you specialize on?
Uh, Cable, I think the daily range is a lot more healthier. It ranges at least even in the slow moving days, it's around 60 pips. If not, it'll be between 80 to 120. So for a day trader, that is a good range to look at.
How do you manage the Brexit news releases about the negotiation? Did they some effect on your strategy?
It doesn't really directly affect my strategy. I'll definitely look out for days where they are talking, trying to decide what they want to do with the Brexit decision. So those are days I'll be a little bit more careful. But beyond that, I will just look at the chart as a technical chartist.
Well, nowadays they are talking pretty much every day, every hour. So
That's true.
but you
I
don't
mean,
mind that. You
yeah,
you don't mind that.
I
They
don't
will
mind
drop. Okay. It seems that your best volume trade is zero. It's one. Then I can see that your other trade is like half loss. So,
that. Mm.
and your worst ones are like the 3 and 4. So why do you think there is such a difference?
Okay, I think it's the way I execute my trades because when I get into a position, I will usually start off with maybe 3 lots, but when I get out of the trade, it's actually half a lot or 1 lot. So I think that's how the end result comes about. Because I think the platform itself only record during the exits,
Mhm.
so it doesn't take into account of how I do the entries. So obviously, for those that enter 3 lots and it didn't work out, it failed immediately.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So those are the ones that will suffer a little bit more losses.
So there's a strategy like build, add, and scale out, right? You just build
Yeah.
the structure, you will open a large trade, and then you are just reducing your risk, or you are just adding more profit, right?
Correct.
How do you calculate this position sizing? Why do you decide 3, 4, or maybe 5?
Well, I'll base on a 1% risk as my primary parameter.
Mm-hmm.
So during the trade itself, I may have entered a lot of positions. I mean, then there will be a lot of entries.
Mm-hmm.
But the overall risk will not exceed 1%. So that that's usually my base parameter. Then getting out is all about the price and the range.
Uh-huh.
So if, for example, I've entered at a certain price, if that particular entry has moved about 40 to 50 pips,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'll make sure I will get at least 80% of that profit. I mean, let's say I have a remove 40 pips. I may have chosen to get out with 0.5 lots. So I will lock in some of the profits from there. If the market move further, that's where I'll push for the exits at a better price.
Do you remember your, let's say, your last mistake from which you have gained some knowledge?
Uh, well, I guess knowledge wise, from mistakes, um, I think it's all about a lot of times it's all about timing,
Mm-hmm.
especially because I do a lot of early entries. So early entries, the advantage is I'll get a better price,
Mm-hmm.
but the disadvantage is I'll have a lot of losses in terms of number of counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So especially when the market is changing, like for the last 1 month, if I start my entries in the Asian hours, what I realize is they are not working out very well. So these are the things that I will review periodically. Then, like right now, I'm not trading in the morning at all. I mean, in Asian hours. So I'm waiting for the London hours to open. Then I'll evaluate the market.
Okay.
So all these are learning points, yeah, from time to time.
And if I take a look at your opening time hour, I can see that you are more successful at 9 a.m. and 8 a.m. and of course at 2 p.m. and of course at 5 a.m. So my question is, have you considered to trade only in those times and not trade, for example, at 10 and 1 p.m. where your trades are obviously losing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I'll make some adjustments. Right now it's a bit complicated because I'm trading the funded account as well as doing my challenge at the same time. And the challenge, because there's a time factor, there's a 30 days limit. Yeah, so sometimes it get a little bit kind of messy of when to trade and when not to trade. Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess once I've gotten all my 300K accounts, then the routine will be a lot easier. I can just focus on London, I mean UK and US sessions.
Okay, and the last thing here, well, you are mostly focused on the buy orders. So is there any system for it?
No, it's just coincidentally the market has been moving up for the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's just moving up, so you're just trading buy, right?
Yeah.
I have a look here on your trades and take a look at the order with the biggest profit, which is here like $1,552. You obviously noted from this some insight. So can you tell us something about it? It's so different from the others. Sheer of luck?
I guess it depends on how the position is being structured. So what I typically would do is if let's say my assessment of market is going to go for a break, then I will split up the entries into at least two parts. One that I will take the profit within the day. The other one I will see whether how much I will leave some that will allow it to run. So I guess this type of trade is they actually ran. So I managed to get a very good profit from it.
Yeah, and the other trade seems pretty consistent amount.
Yep.
And if I take a look to the worst one, which is like 1,100 around, what is the mistake here?
Well, that's the typical mistake of trying to make a big bet. Is betting against the market. So I was thinking that it looks like market is going to move in that direction. Unfortunately, I'm wrong. So that was just a big risk that was taken.
So this one was more like a bet than like price action strategy.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And of course, your trades duration are very distinct. So do you have any system there?
I guess this is just because of the outcome. Because the way I trade is to make sure that I can get out most of the position within the day. So usually most of the trades will get out within hours. Some will stretch a little bit more into like tens of hours or even more than 24. Yeah, but majority will be completed within a couple hours.
And when you are building up your order, like you said, you're starting with 3, 4 lots, how many times you are scaling out? How many times you are parting this trade?
Maybe 80 pips as the range. Typically, I think I will have gotten an amount maybe about 8 times. Then when I scale up, it's about 12 to 15 times.
All right. I think that's it from the matrix. So let's go back. Okay. Can you tell me more about your weekly and monthly plan, about your preparation for it? And of course, do you plan ahead of every week and set up some of your goals?
Yes, I do. For a weekly basis, I will definitely prepare the week ahead. So the technical analysis on the charts, it's a must do. So that those are the things that I'll look at. I'll look across several pairs actually. But because most of the time I only trade cable, but I will still do my analysis over for euro dollar, Aussie dollar. I'll look at the dollar index as well. I also look at the stock market index just to have overall view of what's happening in the market. Yeah. So these are the preparation that I will do.
And earlier, before you said that to become forex trader was your passion, like you always want to do it. So my
Yeah.
question is, what's the future for you right now? What is your goal? What is your set goals for the future?
Well, of course, replacing my income through trading is the
Hmm.
first milestone. So that's something I'm trying to achieve right now.
Hmm.
I think I'm getting there.
So that's
So,
that's something like some specific goal. And what about a vision?
well, right now what I'm doing is I'm also training up a few more traders.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to train up a team
Wow.
so we can trade as a team as well. So this is what I'm doing right now. So in fact, I'm renting an office starting next year in
Hmm.
January. Yeah. So that will be my beginning of my new company.
Wow. Well, in the previous interview, we have a Raja here, and he started his own community. So do you plan something like that too?
Not so much of a community.
Uh-huh.
I did that before. It's very tiring. So yeah, so I'm not doing that. So, but I'll be looking for people in my own circle.
Hmm.
I'm going to build out a team, maybe a size between 5 to 10 over
Hmm.
time. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do for the time being.
Okay. And
Mm.
what would you recommend to our traders to read or to do right now?
Um, I guess there's a lot of books out there, especially from we call that the there's this book with trading room. Let me see, what is it? Welcome to my
Yeah, show
come into my
us.
trading room. Yeah. So I found that this is one of the good books that I've read before. But of course, there's a lot of books on technical patterns, chart patterns,
Hmm.
understanding of candlesticks. So these are some of the key foundations I think
Hmm.
most traders should be reading. Then, of course, risk management is one of the key things. I couldn't really find any good books about on risk management specifically for
Uh-huh.
FX. But I guess there's a lot of information in the internet. It's a matter of reading through those, understanding what they are, and how to incorporate them into your trading.
And if we compare it to your recent years, like back in 10 years ago, have you read those books also?
Yeah, I guess I've read a lot of books.
Uh-huh.
So it's really just picking up what are the G's, what are the good points of each
Mm.
of the books, and make that as part of your own trading. Yeah, so I think
So,
that will be the most important outcome.
so your success is not based on books, but pretty much the hard work or trying, right?
Yeah, the books is just a start point. So you still have to understand,
Yes.
internalize, then through a lot of practice, training, and actual trading, that's where
Uh-huh.
you learn. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have some secret pass to FTMO challenge? What do you recommend to others to pass it?
Um, Well, I think for beginners will be challenging because of the time limitation. But if they have prepped themselves by going through maybe a few months of training, I think that will help,
Mm-hmm.
especially from a mental perspective. Whereas when it comes to losing, I guess that's where most of the beginner traders will have a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I, 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 I think that they will thank you for this advice. And last question, what would you say to others about the opportunity that FTMO provided?
But I really feel that the FTMO is the best opportunity for any retail trader. This is something that will make us kind of it's a booster of kickstart to push you into the direction of if you want to trade in use trading as a full-time career, then FTMO will provide the best opportunity.
Wow, well,
Yeah,
really, really happy to hear it. Like, thank you very much.
no
Okay,
problem.
I think this is it. I am thankful and grateful that you could find a time in your full-time schedule, and I
Thank you.
hope that we will meet someday, other day, when you will have another accomplished profit like this, another withdraw. Just to others, guys, I hope you are listening us. Please subscribe the bottom, and we will keep giving you another interviews like with Eric here. I hope that everyone are alright, and bye bye, everyone.
All right. Bye bye. Thanks.